Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of tired when I'm recording this. It's 11 p.m. I mean, I always record these videos late at night, but still. Hey, we on that grind, so we gotta push through regardless. And today, we are talking about... Who are we talking about? The New York Knicks. Okay. The New York Knicks last year were 47-35, fifth in the East. They beat the Cavs in the first round in 5 games, and they lost to Jimmy Butler and the Heat, who went on to make the finals in 6 games, I think it was, or was it 5? I think it was probably 5. But the Knicks, man, the Knicks actually had a really impressive season last year. As my computer turns off, Jalen Brunson was the new addition that came to their team, and he really brought a lot from his year in Dallas, where he helped them after making the conference final. He helped them make the conference finals, and then got traded away. If I remember, no, he signed a free agency. Yep, he signed to the Knicks in free agency and came to this team. And when he was in Dallas, he was just kind of support player for Luka. But now in New York, he actually became the leader of this team, and he was hooping, man. He low-key deserved to be an all-star. And he wasn't, he was an all-star. He was snubbed, but I mean, there was a lot of talented guys in the East too. We're also all-stars, so I can't even hate on it. But point being, Jalen Brunson did his thing, man, and he helped this team make it to the second round. Which is, when you're looking at Knicks history, that's actually a pretty big accomplishment, because the Knicks have been in the depths of basketball, just the depths of the NBA, really, for the past, ever since the Patrick Ewing days. I mean, they had the mellow times, but yeah, it's been rough for Knicks fans, man. My projected record for them is 43-39 as the 9th seed in the East. Yeah, listen, this Knicks team, honestly, I really like them. And like I said in my other videos that I released before this, don't think about the rankings too much, because they could change on any day. Like, these are the rankings I made like a month ago, so these are definitely subject to change. I can maybe move the Knicks aren't one of the teams I was extremely looking to like move up or down, but they could definitely move up or down a few spots. So nothing's really set in stone. But I'm still not completely sure about this Knicks team. When you look at their depth chart, as I said, Jalen Brunson, the one. You got Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Then off the bench, Emmanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Isaiah Roby, and Isaiah Hartenstein. 2 Isaiahs, that's good. And then Miles McBride, Deion Washington Jr. Evan Fournier did just recently get, I think, released or something. Or no, he's not in the rotation. And there was this whole little media day drama with that. That was kind of funny, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. That was just something interesting that happened. And then Jericho Sims and Nathan Nye, I didn't mention him. But yeah, in this last playoff run they had, the real 2 factors for them that were like really making the difference in the games that they won: Jalen Brunson and their rebounding. Their rebounding was amazing with Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. All these guys fighting to get as many rebounds as possible, fighting for those extra possessions and doing everything they could. And that's one of the biggest reasons, as I mentioned in one of my playoff videos, that's one of the biggest reasons they won that Cavs series, because they boxed out and got boards. And there were games where Evan Mobley and Jared Allen were getting out-rebounded by Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, who are like 6'2" and 6'5". So, and Mobley and Jared Allen just about 2 7-footers. So, the Knicks really showed what they could do last year in the playoffs. And there's no reason for me to put them this low, except for the fact that I believe in the other teams a lot more. And I'm going to talk about the other teams that I have above them later on, maybe this week, next week, we'll see. But there's a few teams I have above this Knicks team and above the Heat and the Raptors and the Bulls. And like I said, my standings aren't set in stone, but there's some teams here that I believe in. And with the Knicks, the reason I put them down here was because it's really mainly because it's the Knicks. First of all, let's talk about Julius Randle. He's technically the best player on this team because he was the only All-Star for them last year. And he's been on and off. When he came to New York, I think his first year in New York, he had an All-Star year, which was 2021. He did amazing, made the All-Star game, and he was cooking. And then 2022, he came back and, well, didn't do that great. He didn't do that great. He was back to just normal Julius Randle. And then next year he came back and he was hooping again, which was just this past season. And if we're following the Julius Randle cycle, it would make sense that this year they go down again and he just doesn't perform at the level he usually performs at. But then again, you gotta remember, it is Julius Randle, so he's unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen. And so I don't really have high expectations or low expectations for him this year. That's what I should say. Because he is Julius Randle. He is a multi-time All-Star. He does have the potential to be at, or he has the ability to be at the All-Star level. But at the same time, we've seen it's also Julius Randle. So he's unpredictable. You never know what days, what years he'll be good, what years he'll be bad. So we'll see what happens. But I guess especially, well, I can't even say that anymore because now the East low-key getting some good guys over there. I was gonna say with the East that we have right now, it'd be easy for him to make an All-Star game, but I can't even say that no more because there's some guys in this Eastern Conference, man, who could low-key come up and make that All-Star game. Well, you never know. But I just don't know what to expect from Julius Randle. That's one of the big reasons I was questionable about them. RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has been one of the most hated players in the league, or hated on, and I don't understand why. I mean, to be fair, when I watch RJ Barrett, usually the games that I see from him, he be cooking, and I don't see the worst of him that a lot of Knicks fans probably do. It also could be just because he plays for the Knicks, and New York, the Knicks are one of the biggest franchises in the league, so they get a lot of publicity. So that could be a reason why RJ, it's kind of like how the Lakers, if a player does really good for the Lakers, they're getting a lot of shine, like Austin Reeves. But if they do really bad for the Lakers, they get a lot of bad shine, like Russell Westbrook. So with the Knicks, I'm guessing it's the same situation where RJ really, if he was on a team like the Wizards, people wouldn't really be paying attention to him like this, and people wouldn't be on him and hating on him and like stuff like that. But because he plays for the Knicks, he's definitely a lot more in the spotlight. But I do know that RJ isn't the greatest player either. It's not like he's some sort of really good, amazing player. He is pretty inefficient. And I mean, he has that potential. Let me actually, while I'm here, I don't want to make this video too long because my phone was dying last time I was checking. But I do have to do my research before I say anything without context. 43% from the field, not horrible, but not good. 31% from three. And 74% from the free throw line. I mean, he averaged 19 and 5 and like 3 assists. 20 if we round up, but like, oh my goodness, the advanced stats are not in his favor at all. His offensive win shares is 0.5 from last year, which is actually pretty decent for his career considering his rookie year it was negative 1.6, then his second year is 0.9, then it was 0.1, and then it's 0.5. So it's his defensive win shares second worst season of his career. Offensive box plus minus and defensive box plus minus, both in the negatives. VORP, also in the negatives. Oh my goodness, it is very, it doesn't look good for my guy right here. It is not looking good for RJ. And I mean, I can't look at the advanced stats too much. I can't look at just the stats. I also have to see the eye test. And from the eye test, from what I see, he looks decent. But obviously, a lot of other Knicks fans don't agree with me. Because he's been getting so much hate. He's been put in trade offers. Well, not really. like officially, but he's been put in trade rumors, I guess. I don't know what I don't know. He hasn't been declared as the safe rising stars of this team. Like, if you look at the other top 3 picks in this draft class, you have Zion, who, even though he's had his injuries and all that, he's still been an all-star and been one of the greatest young players in the league. You have John Morant, who's also been one of the greatest young players in the league, and even though he's had the whole bop situation, he has at least had a good career so far, where he's led his team to the 2nd spot in the West twice. But RJ hasn't done much, and even if you look at the guys after him, Darius Garland, Miles Bridges and Mikal Bridges. Like, you look at some of these guys who are outperforming him, who are in the same draft class as him. And I mean, you can't compare him to other guys, because it's never good to do that with players, because then you set unrealistic expectations for them, especially when your expectations are Zion Williamson and John Morant. But it's still something to think about, because RJ, I love him, but with the amount of hate he's been getting recently, I just hope he has it. I feel bad for him. I hope he has a good year. I hope he proves the haters wrong. And I hope he gets better. But man, the efficiency gotta go up. That's the first thing that's gotta happen. The efficiency gotta go up. And you can look at RJ and be like, hey, maybe it's a breakout year. I don't see it personally, but I mean, you never know. The East has been weakened a bit, at least to some extent, because, well, not really, but there is a lot of space in the East for players to rise up and cook. So you could see this as RJ's opportunity. But then again, you also have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle on the team. And if one of those guys is an all-star, RJ isn't going to be an all-star, because the Knicks aren't going to be good enough to have 2 all-stars. Unless they prove me completely wrong, but I highly doubt. So, really, I hope RJ has a good year. I just hope he has a good year. And then, we talked about just about everybody else on this team. They made the addition of Dante DiVincenzo this offseason, who I actually really liked. And when I saw that addition, I was like, okay, this Knicks team's looking nice. They got Quickly, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, Isaiah Roby, and then that's about it. I mean, that's a solid 10-man rotation, but I don't love it. I don't really love it. I did in my notes when I started writing this put pretty good bench depth, but looking here, I mean, they got 2, 3, 4, 5 guys who are really good or really solid bench players. But after that, just kind of, because you never know what you're going to expect from some of these guys too. The biggest thing with this team is they're unpredictable. Mitchell Robinson, unpredictable. Julius Randle, unpredictable. RJ Barrett, unpredictable. Quentin Grimes, unpredictable. Dante DiVincenzo, unpredictable. Like, there's a lot of, even Josh Hart at some certain situations, unpredictable. So that's what I'm saying. This team is very unpredictable, and I don't think they're going to have what they had last year, where they reached the 5 seed in the East. I mean, feel free to prove me wrong, but I don't see it. I'm going to just read through my notes. They kept their core from last year, which is because they didn't make many changes in free agency. The Knicks curse. The Knicks curse. How the Knicks are always just, bad stuff just happens to the Knicks. Pretty good bench depth. Like I said, I already covered that. How it's not amazing, but it's not horrible. Good shooters. Actually a good thing, because they have Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly, Dante DiVincenzo. Okay. What was I on? Evan Fournier? He's not even in the rotation. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote half these notes. How good can RJ be? Makes sense. And then still great all-around defense. That's one thing the Knicks are definitely going to have. Great defenders. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart. They got some guys on here who can clamp up. So that's one thing that they will 100% have. It's just the offense is unpredictable. If they get the offense down, I definitely can see this team being higher than a 9 seed. But if they don't, the defense is good, but you also need offense to win games. It's good that you stop them from scoring, but you also got to score yourself some points as well. So I see this Knicks team with a ceiling of like a solid 4 seed if they really prove me wrong. If RJ came out hooping, if Jalen Brunson came out hooping, if Julius Randle came out hooping, and maybe I could see a 4 seed. That's their ceiling. But their floor, I legit say they could miss the play-in as their floor. Because with this Knicks team, you never know what to expect. They're unpredictable. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say. There's not much else to say about the Knicks. I don't like talking about the big name teams sometimes because I'm like, they get enough attention already. I don't really need to talk about them. I want to talk about the Hornets. I want to talk about the Wizards. Nah, but for real, that's about all I have to say. Tell me what you think down below in the comment section about the Knicks, because they're definitely a pretty decent, interesting team, and the opinions on them can be very varied. So I want to hear what y'all think. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below like I just said like 30 seconds ago. Turn on notifications, and have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.